God's awesome creation, swamp gas, or playful flames. Hi, this is Dennis again. The last two times we've gotten together, we looked at a few animals that can produce light of their own. Some live in the deepest parts of the ocean, while fireflies live where we can all see them and enjoy them. I refer to them as God's fireworks. But why in the title do I refer to swamp gas as playful flames? As we go along, I will explain. But swamp gas is one of the truly awesome phenomenon in God's amazing creation. What is swamp gas? Let me begin by saying if you have ever seen it, you're not likely to ever forget it. Swamp gas also goes by the name will-o'-the-wisp, and it is a biogas which forms in wetlands, and its principal component is methane, which is produced naturally in some marshes, swamps, and bogs. The surface of marshes, swamps, and bogs is initially porous, and vegetation that rots forms a crust that prevents oxygen from reaching the organic material trapped below in the water. That is the condition which allows anaerobic digestion and fermentation of any plant or animal material, which was incidentally also produces methane. In some cases, there is sufficient heat, fuel, and oxygen to allow spontaneous combustion and underground fires to smolder for some considerable time. Besides being simply called swamp gas, it has been known, as I mentioned, for a very long time as will-o'-the-wisp, and also as ignis fatuus, which is in medieval Latin, foolish fire. The glowing gas was at one time considered to be ghosts. It often resembled the flame of a flickering lamp and is said to move away if you approached it. Their sometimes seemingly intelligent movement is why I refer to them in the title as playful lights. A number of years ago now, I spent the summer up in Tawas, Michigan with my son Dennis and a friend of his. And I have a video here on YouTube right now called the Tuttle Marsh Lights. So you might want to check that out for more detail on what I'm going to tell you right now. But what I want to tell you is explain to you an encounter that I had with Dennis with swamp gas. One night, it was in August of that year. It was late at night. Very hot, very humid. We were having thunderstorms all night long, and with periods of torrentially downpouring rain. We were in Skoda and decided that we were going to drive back Old US 23 and then go through Tuttle Marsh back to Tawas. In the daytime, Tuttle Marsh is a marvelous place to be, absolutely incredible. At night, it's a little bit eerie, but as we were driving through the marsh, Dennis was really tired, and so he pulled off off the road into these little parking, really rustic kind of parking spots they have out there. And we sat there for a while as he decided to take a nap before we went on home to Tawas. Well, as we sat there, of course, he turned out the lights, and I could see across the road to the marshes on the opposite side of the road, which are extensive. There are no roads back behind those marshes, so I can't blame what I saw on car lights or anything. And certainly they didn't look or act like car lights. But as he was snoring away, I saw out a distance across the marsh 2 balls of green glowing light. And as I watched them, they would seem to move towards each other, and when they got right up to each other, they'd dash away really fast again, and then they would repeat that. And as I sat there watching them, the lights started moving across the marsh towards us. Well, I kind of panicked because I have read so much about UFOs and alien abductions and garbage like that I didn't think right away of swamp gas. And so I tried my hardest to wake Dennis up so that he could see it too. And when I finally did wake him up, instead of looking over there to see what I had seen, he started the car and we took off and headed back towards Tawas. But they looked like playful lights the way they'd move into each other and then back away from each other and then started coming across the marsh in our direction. It was a little bit unnerving. Why it should be, I don't know, because it's a very natural and normal phenomenon. Just something that I hadn't seen every day. It was new to me, even though I had read much about it over the years. But let's talk a little bit more about the term will-o'-the-wisp. And it comes from wisp, which is a bundle of sticks or paper sometimes used as a torch, and the name will, thus will-o'-the-torch. In the United States, here they are often called spook lights, ghost lights, or orbs by folklorists or paranormal enthusiasts. Folk belief attributes the phenomenon to fairies and elemental spirits explicitly in the term hobby lanterns found in the 19th century. Briggs' Dictionary of Fairies provides an extensive list of other names for the same phenomenon, though the place where they are observed influences the name considerably. When observed on graveyards, they were known as ghost candles, which was a common name for them, and as burial practices were not as immaculate as they are now, these kind of methane gases could form. But the thing is, they are an interesting part of the natural order that God built, that He created. And when you see them, don't panic or feel afraid, as I did. Just enjoy the phenomenon. It's a common phenomenon, but not commonly seen because most people don't spend, unfortunately, a lot of time in the woods. I love the woods because it's there that you really get to see God's amazing creative, unlimited creativity. I mean, you see that in the world all around us, but when I'm in the woods, I see it so strikingly. The nature cries out the glory of God, our Creator. And so if you ever get a chance, go to a marshy or swampy area at night. Take somebody with you to be safe, and watch for the swamp gas marsh lights. I'm sure you'll be fascinated. There are other things in God's natural world too that create self-luminescence, and we'll talk about those a little more perhaps next time. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed a short look at the marsh gas. Have a good night, and God bless.